Michael, we are live. Welcome to another episode of the Project 90 podcast. My name is Antonio, and I'm here with mio fratello, mi hermano, el más grande número uno, Marco Munoz. Marco, how you doing today, brother?
Bro, what an introduction. I don't think I deserve an introduction like that, but man,
Oh,
shout
stop
out,
it.
shout out to my favorite fratello, Antonio. Grazie mille.
Oh,
And
dude.
cominciamos. There's a lot of stuff to talk about.
Cominciamo. We got this little Italian vibe already going. Got the jersey on. I got one of the main subjects sitting right there, dude. I don't know if you can see it
I
behind
can't
me,
I,
but
I can't really see
can't
him.
tell. But his name's about to come up because what is going on with Italy, Marco? What is this nonsense? I'm trying to figure out who is directing this soap opera of a movie we got going on with what is the Italian national team. Have you been following this in recent hours, recent days? It's been a wild 2 weeks for Italy, man.
It's truly a travesty what's going on in the Federation. And
Travesty.
I'm embarrassed for my Italian people,
Yes.
for my Italian fans who just want to make it back on the world stage in the World Cup, just want to put that badge in Italy at the highest that they can. I'm just embarrassed for you guys, the way stuff is going on behind the scenes. And ultimately, the World Cup is over, and this is not a great start for that Sura.
No, dude, coming into a fourth World Cup now, right? We already missed three. If there hasn't been enough embarrassment for us already in the past three World Cups, what's been going on recently with this whole entire technical director, finding a new coach, Maldini, Pirlo, Guardiola, all these guys? It's just we don't need any more embarrassment, in my opinion. This is absolutely out of control. The fact that a legendary national team, an iconic national team, that's won the tournament four times, cannot qualify, cannot put a team together that can win, cannot even figure out who to appoint, who to put in as coach. You got people being hired, they got people resigning. Ridiculous, man, ridiculous. In the past 2 weeks, we saw, well, let's take it back to, let's say, qualifying. Didn't qualify under Gattuso, okay, again, for the third time. Buffon was in there, Bonucci was in there, Gattuso was head coach. All of them resigned. They all, left the national team, and they said, all right, it's time to restart. So they appointed Silvio Baldini for interim manager, who was the under 21 coach, came in, won the two games that they had left before the World Cup started, two friendlies, and everything seemed like, okay, we're about to take this serious. We're about to get our shit together. And so what did Italy do? They appointed as technical director someone that we all thought would have been a great choice, is Maldini and Leonardo, right? Both from Milan. And, it was great. I was happy with that. I think every Italian was happy with that. It looked like we were going in the right direction. The president of the federation, Giovanni Malago, said, we're going to bring in Maldini, we'll bring in Leonardo, and we'll try to find this coach, right? So first name that sort of came around was Guardiola, which was like, that would be amazing, right?
Long shot, long shot.
Long
Yep.
shot, but that would be super duper ideal. Then there was talks of Ancelotti, but we already know he's with Brazil. Other names, Mancini coming back, maybe Allegri taking over, but then he took over in Serie A again with a new team. Thiago Motta's another name that I've been hearing. And who did they settle on? They settled on Pirlo, which not too stoked about. I don't think many Italians are stoked about it, but the fact that it was Maldini backing him was kind of, gave us a little comfort. I was a little more excited knowing that it was Maldini who wanted him, so he must see something in Pirlo. So that seemed like that was it. Pirlo was going to be appointed. That was the news coming out. And what happened now? All of a sudden, there's this news of Pirlo being associated or an ambassador of some sort or a brand partner with some Russian gambling company, this betting company. And Malago, the president, said, nope, I don't want none of that. We cannot be associated with that. I do not want Pirlo to be the head coach, which, I mean, ridiculous. You're pretty much now involving politics, a political thing, with sport, with soccer, with our national team. And Maldini said, well, if you're not going to let me pick Pirlo, I'm out. And what did he do? Like 6 hours ago, 8 hours ago, he resigned. Him and Leonardo resigned. Pirlo's no longer going to be the coach. Now we got to start all over again. And I am fed up with this embarrassment, bro. It's like we have zero identity. We don't know who we are anymore. We're always reflecting back to 2006. We're becoming one of those national teams that looks into the past, say, oh, what we had then. Why can't we have that now? This and that. Why can't we qualify? And it's like the problem's way deeper than that. We can't even have a federation that can appoint a coach or a technical director, let alone have the players to now go compete, qualify, and dream about winning at this point. It's
It's
embarrassing.
it's one of those things where it's either a serious and unserious or for entertainment purposes only situation. And I hate to say it, but I think it's just for entertainment purposes only, right? Because
Mhm.
taking it a little bit back, right? Mancini, supposedly, they had given him their word that he was going to be coming back up,
Yeah.
right? To take over the squad. So he resigned with the club that he was getting paid 5 million per season or per year, whatever
Yep.
the case may be. So now Mancini doesn't get the job, right?
Mhm.
Because Maldini goes in another way or gives his word to Pirlo after the Pep Guardiola thing didn't go through. So now you got one guy without a job, right? Because he thought he was going to take charge. And then if I'm hiring a technical director, you got to be able to give that guy the autonomy or whatever you say that word,
Autonomy. Yeah.
autonomy to do his job,
Yep.
right? So as a president, you got to get those guys and figure it out, because if that wasn't the case, if you were going to let him do his job, then you could have hired somebody who you could have been running things through, and ultimately you'd get your guy versus now running a circus and for entertainment purposes only. you
Mhm.
get you get what's going on right now. And to what you were saying not too long ago, Pirlo, right? He comes in to an all-star group in Juventus, and they finish fourth. They qualify for Champions League, the very last match day of the season,
Yeah.
right? For a team of that caliber, that's not the standard. Maybe right now, yes, where they're at right now. But back then, when you had Ronaldo and all these guys on the
Yeah.
squad, that's not the standard. You got to win, win, win. Then Pirlo goes to Serie B with Sampdoria, doesn't do too well,
Nope.
right? He goes to the Turkish league. He's like middle of the table, fighting for actually not even fighting for a whole lot, just fighting to stay in the middle.
Just to
And then
win a
now
game. Yeah.
now he's in the UAE, right? So what does that tell me about his career? Not it's instead of going up, it's kind of going down. But it was one of those things where Pirlo and Maldini have this relationship, and it could have been one of those things where, like, look, this is my guy, right? He doesn't have the trajectory that other coaches have, but at least we are on the same page on what we see with Italy and focusing on our youth, right? Because
Mhm.
these guys, they're 4-3-3 guys,
Yeah.
right? So what does that say? That means they're looking to bring guys on and young talent onto the squad. At least that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, and it's he doesn't have the best resume as a coach, but when I think of a guy like Maldini coming in, he's a lot of history in the game between his dad, who's there before, coached Italy, was part of Italy, involved with Milan, all these teams. You see a guy like Maldini come in, and I feel like his goal was to create a long-term project. It was not to go now to the Euros in 2 years, if they even qualify at this point, right? Go to the Euros, win the Euros, and expect to win the next World Cup. No, Italy's way lower than that at this point. Italy's goal right now is to establish themselves to be consistent qualifiers at this point to then go compete at the World Cup. If you can't pick a manager or a technical director and give them, like you said, the autonomy to do it, then there's a bigger problem here. There's a bigger issue in the Italian Federation. People aren't seeing eye to eye, and one group of people say it's the coach or the manager or the federation, then the other group will say it's the players, but in reality it's both. And yeah, the Serie A is not the strongest league anymore. That's correct. But when Italy was at their peak, say in 2006 when they won, 2002 when they had a great team as well, it wasn't there were foreigners in the league just like there are now. There were real big
Mm-hmm.
names in the Serie A playing for Milan, Juve, Inter. There's Ronaldo, Recoba, all Crespo, all these foreign players that were playing for the big clubs. The difference was the quality of Italian player, like true playmakers. There's Del Piero, there's Totti, there's all the names you remember from 2006, 2002, true like superstars in a sense, right? And now those players don't exist. They're simply just not there. So the problem isn't foreigners and said, yeah, the problem is we just don't have the world class, the 40 classe type players like Totti, Del Piero, Maldini, Cannavaro, all these players don't exist anymore. That's the problem with there. You see the U19s and U21s having great tournaments, U17s. Why is it not translating to the first team? I don't know. That's maybe a deeper problem within Italy and the federation, opportunities, things like that. But for Italy as a national team, if we can't even settle on a coach, settle on a technical director, settle on somebody who's going to come in long term and sort of revamp and revolutionize the game for Italy, then we're going nowhere fast. And after today, seeing Maldini resign, it just adds to the embarrassment of what the national team has become. I mean, I don't even know at this point. You hear names like Baggio being thrown around. You hear names like, again, Thiago Motta. There's Cannavaro, who's been coaching. He just went to the World Cup. There's Montella, he coaches for Turkey. Ancelotti's with Brazil. So why are all these now players, not only players going abroad to these big clubs like Sandro Tonali, all these guys playing in England or overseas, but also the coaches? No one wants to come. It's like they don't want to coach for Italy.
Well,
And
especially after what happened the last 24 hours, who in the right mind is going to want to go into that situation, Anto?
yeah,
Because they know they're going to have the full backing of the federation, the president, whoever case may be that's pulling strings over there. They're not going to have the full autonomy to do what they're supposed to be doing. So now who
yeah,
do they look to? Baldini again? Like, hey, can you come back and hold us down until we find a solid coach? But
yeah,
even then, that's a band-aid. Do you go back to Mancini like, hey, Maldini's gone, Mancini come back? Now that guy has a little bit of leverage. Oh, now you want me? Okay, I want 5 million a year, right?
yeah,
Or whatever the case may be. Or I need to call my shots, or need to be able to hire my own people. This sounds a lot like the Mexican Federation. Mexican
yeah.
Federation is a joke a lot of the time because to what's going on right now, the presidents and the owners call the shots because they're running the league, and they tell the coach to call up or play certain players. So unfortunately, Italy is going through a situation like this. But I mean, Anto, who do they look forward to now?
Honestly, man, I have no idea. At this point, I don't know. Anything can happen, right? I mean, it's been Maldini was there for 16 days. In 2 weeks, look what has happened. In 2 weeks, you have people sign on, resign, coach here, no coach, no more, can't do that. Malagos fight, no, yes, maybe, I don't know. So it's like, what are you gonna do? Who are you gonna get to come in and say, yeah, I'll take this job, this absolute disaster that Italy is right now? I have no idea, dude. I'm embarrassed. Like it's just like a joke. It's like we couldn't beat Bosnia to qualify. I don't even care about that anymore. Like this is like beyond that. This is like I want to feel, and so does every Italian for that matter, wants to feel confident in the federation, their coach, their president, all these people that are involved with bringing Italy back to where they should be. Right? It's so weird watching the World Cup and not seeing the Azzurri in it, not seeing Italy at all, even mentioned, not part of it whatsoever. I mean, it's, one thing to not qualify for one World Cup, but to do it 3 times in a row, now this is just getting absolutely out of control. So I don't know, man. It's obviously a developing story at this point, right? They're going to need to figure it out. They're under a lot of pressure now. They're under the microscope. Everybody's tuning in around the world and saying how embarrassing this is. So honestly, man, is it corruption? Is it favoritism? Is it what is it? I have no idea. But between the youth, between the coaches, between the president, the federation, they need to figure it the fuck out because the World Cup, it's 4 years away. You better get it together. If you don't qualify for a fourth World Cup, I mean, I don't even know I don't even know what to say at this point if that were to happen. So I look forward to the Euros. I really hope they do qualify. I hope they get it together. I think there's a lot of good talent, but you know what? They need to bring a coach in. They need to have a unified federation that says, okay, we're all here with the same goal, with the same idea in mind, a long-term project to bring Italy back to the top. So we'll see, man.
And hopefully, they get to work, right? Conte has been a name out there.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Conte is kind of like a band-aid, right? Not for the long term, but who knows, right? Maldini's out. I don't know if that long-term project is still going to be going on. It's whatever project gets in place the next couple weeks. But till then, Anto, hopefully we get some good news the next couple weeks on what's going on with the federation, and they start stepping in the right direction.
I agree, man. So that's it for now, man. It's pretty shocking news today coming out of Italy, but Yeah, as this story sort of develops, I'm sure we'll jump back on it. Obviously, I'm very passionate about that because Italy's my team. In the meantime, though, this is another episode, Project 90. We'll be dropping an episode pretty soon about a lot of transfers, a lot of talk going on. A lot of transfers have been happening between Chelsea, Serie A, Real Madrid, all these teams. So I think we're going to touch on that in the upcoming days. Until then, though, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you made it this far, go to project90soccer.com,
And some
subscribe.
MLS.
Yes, yes, and MLS. We just saw the earthquakes. Let's touch on that real quick. San Jose Earthquakes, California Classico versus the LA Galaxy. We saw them draw 1-1, which Timo Werner, he did have a big opportunity at the end there to win the game. It's unfortunate, obviously, that's not ideal to miss in literally the last minute of the game. But overall, from the game we watched, the previous game, right, we saw them Orlando City. It was a disaster versus them. But they came out against LA. They had a much better game. To me, they were the stronger team for most parts of the game. Reed Roberts, obviously, the young defender, getting a goal. I thought everyone was pretty solid. As far as defense, though, they do get caught on the break, which we saw them get scored on. But yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to seeing if they can kind of turn their season back around because they started off super strong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I'll take the point. I'll take the point. I'll take the point.
Take the point. Bruce Arena's probably not too stoked about it either. Again, right? He plays it cool, right? He's an experienced guy. He knows what he's doing, but at the same time, man, the point is a point, but it's time to we got to start winning, bro. And
Yep.
I personally I need to see the San Jose Earthquakes win a game this season at home. That is my only hope, my only goal for going to PayPal Park, driving an hour and 15 hour and a half to that stadium. I need to see a dub, dude. So we're gonna catch a dub. We're gonna report back onto the pod, and yeah, man, I'm excited,
We need to get our money's worth for these $23 micheladas.
dude. It's wild. They're big. They're good size, decent micheladas. But between parking, between driving, the tickets, look, man, I just want to see a victory. Is that too much to ask? Is that too much to ask, Marco? Am I being
Come on, San
ridiculous?
Jose. Do it for us, baby. Come on,
San
do it
Jose,
for us.
we are true fans of your team, man. You give us
Let's
something to
go.
do. You give us something to look forward to. We come to the games. We love it. I know all the players' names. I've been following the team for years and years, and I've yet to see you guys win a fucking game at PayPal Park. I need to see a win. God, dude.
Fired up.
Italy, earthquake. I'm fired up, dude.
Hey, you know what
Fired
they
up.
both got in common?
What?
They're both blue.
Oh my God, dude. What a catch that is. Blue and white, dude.
Blue and white.
Blue and white, man. All right, Marco. Let's sign off. It's enough screaming for one day. It's been Project 90, project90soccer.com. Like, subscribe, comment. Every subscription helps the channel grow. We're trying to just, get into the ears and to the eyes of soccer fans, man. Drop your comments, join the conversation. Until next time, though, this has been Project 90. Any last words, Marco?
Peace.
Peace out.